Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's time for another anime first impression video. Welcome once again, guys. This one is an interesting one because I just don't know what to feel about this one. I do want to react to it because it's a music one and it's just, I don't know. It definitely, definitely is a drama that I would appreciate probably watching. And this is going to be the Blue Orchestra, which is going to be airing. No one has really picked up the licensing yet. Hopefully, someone does here in the U.S. So yeah, you know what it is. Before anything, guys, if you haven't done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing. You guys can find me on social media in the description below. You also can buy some cheap anime, manga, and light novels in that link in there. So make sure you're using that as well. So okay, um, yeah. So this is a very interesting uh, episode, and it definitely gives you your Lion April vibes, and a little bit, but not completely. So let's just talk about the episode. We meet this guy who, you can tell he's been playing violin for years, and it's been a year since he's decided to stop playing, and we don't really know why. Um, she or he has really stopped playing or enjoying the violin, but there's this particular room in the house that he just doesn't want to go into. He doesn't care for it, and so on and so forth. Now, we do see him trying sports, and he always gets hit by the ball. He always gets hurt in sports, so he hates it. So we also know that he's not really wanting to try new things. He's just there's something bothering him, right? So then he introduces that he had a dad who was a famous artist and he was a great player. So then you're wondering, like, what? Then why? Like, if it comes from family, your dad was teaching you. He kind of shows that at some point he was very supportive about it. So I'm like, why then is it that he's bothered? Well, halfway in the episode, we find out why. He starts mentioning that the room smells of cigar and he hates it. And when he is in the car with his mom, it reminds him of the smell of cigar as well, and he hates it. And this is because his father used to smoke a lot, especially while rehearsing or trying to teach him how to play. And the thing that his dad did was he had an affair. It destroyed his marriage, destroyed the family, and he ended up, not being in the picture anymore. So he himself hates the violin because it connects to his father. And he even says, I don't want to do anything that would hurt my mother. So he just stopped playing. Rewind back to the beginning of the episode. There is a few instances that he is around the hallways talking to teachers, just in the classroom, and he overhears someone playing horribly, may I say, the violin. And he keeps wondering who is the person playing the violin, like who he can't really see them. So he keeps wondering who it is. Well, um, one day he gets hit by a ball. He ends up in the infirmary. He falls asleep, and a girl shows up. Now, this girl has been taking lessons from the sensei, their teacher. Um, she's not a good player. She's just learning how to play, and he wakes up to her playing horribly. Now, there's a whole instant of them basically misunderstanding. She thinks that he's creeping on her. He doesn't like her because she plays horribly, and he judges her like, you don't even hold the violin like that. Like your nails are ruining it, and so on and so forth. So they very don't kick it off in a good note. um, what ends up being that the sensei, the teacher, has a bright idea, and that is to make him teach her how to play. He's like, hey, my best experience that I have in violin is high school club, and that's really it. He's like, so you you can teach her. And they're like, well, what's in it for us? He's like, well, if you teach her, then I will give you a passing grade in the PE credit. And if you let him teach you, then I will lend you my violin. If not, you don't get a violin and you end up failing PE because let's be honest, he's not doing so well. So they're both kind of stuck in the wall with this deal, and they just kind of, I guess, end up agreeing to it. That in a nutshell is the first episode. Again, so it reminded me of Your Lie in April. One, because of the whole violin aspect of it, the music itself, the parent trauma that is transferred to the child. So many parents do things that at the end of the day it's their lives. I do understand that, and it's them, affecting themselves before anything else, right? Because he's the one that lost the marriage, lost his son, and so on and so forth. But all consequences affect others as well. And as a teacher, I tell that to people, like, man, if you want to be a douchebag here in the class, you're just not affecting yourself, you're affecting other people around you. Same thing with this guy. I mean, there's that parental trauma that he has now because of his father, and it wasn't really his choices. Like, he was learning violin, and from what he tells it, he was really enjoying the violin until all this happened. So, yeah, it also reminds me of just kind of like the aggressive and ness of the girl character like you see in Your Lie in April. The only difference is that this guy is not so much of a well, he does mope quite a bit. So I guess it's like Your Lie in April, but he's very interested in orchestra. There's the teacher mentions orchestra at one point, so I'm gonna guess it's gonna be more of a club series and less of a couple series. Didn't really give me romance vibes. Maybe there'll be some in the series, but not the main thing. So, oh well. For now, guys, that is it. If you haven't done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing. If you haven't done so by now, make sure you check out my other first impression videos because I have quite a bit of them. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. And like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.